Hey, Justice Warriors, what up? What's good? Let me close out all of these windows so I can see your chat. Andalyn. So glad I caught you live. Hey, Nico, on track. Susan Dodge. Nice to see you guys. How's my lighting and everything? I got my FBI hat handy if I need it. I think I might, huh? Um, let's see, with or without. It's been a minute, huh? I know I've been super busy. I'm sure everyone's been super busy. Summer's kind of like that, especially if you have kids, and I have a few. Get my water. Let's see. Sunglasses too. Yes, I'll get the sunglasses out. I don't have those handy dandy. Let's see. I'm going to move it back just a little bit because I want to try to get all of the tranquility that I can get. And this thing got knocked over. Let me see if I can stand that up without being too distracting. Okay, here we go. All right. So it's all about the props, right? I've missed you guys. FBI could use your integrity. Well, I've spoken with them a few times and I have to say I do agree, unfortunately. Um, So let me throw my pen on the ground. I'm just so excited to see you guys. And there's thunder and lightning outside, which I absolutely love storms, but they can create mayhem with the live. So let's hope that we don't have any problem with that. Hey, Dana, good evening. So thanks so much for being here, you guys. We got a nice little crew. It's kind of like a little tea party or party. Um, Man, have you guys been checking out Shan Squirrels on Fire's lives? It's a lot of work. If you're not caught up, I don't want you to feel like you're behind the eight ball, but I'm going to say if you're into the Kylie Rodney case, do what you can to get all of Shan's lives. Like, this is bugging me. It looks weird. Let me just turn it. There. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Um, So Shan from Squirrels on Fire has about 7 hours of tape recorded conversations of her and Megan Cole. And she's taken this 7+ hours of um, conversations from months ago and she's listening to it because, as she says, it's too painful for her to listen to it. I mean, it's like, nails scratching a chalkboard kind of thing. So she's breaking it up into pieces, she's analyzing it and leaving it open for your analyzation too. So it's not like she's telling you what to think about it. And you guys, Megan Cole says so much more than she ever should have. And thank goodness Shan recorded it. She had her permission to record it. She had her permission to share it. I'm sure she's all got her panties in a wad over what's going on right now because basically Shan's just letting Megan tell her story by doing this series of it's 4 lives so far. I think she's going to be going live late tonight. But the first one was like 9 hours, the second one was about 8 hours, and then the third and fourth, they were maybe like 5 or 6 hours. And then she did like a condensed version that she put up on a non-live that's also like 5 hours. So it's like a serious time commitment. But what I've done to get through them is I just listen to them in the background while I'm doing all the things I need to be doing. Can you hear the thunder? Deep thoughts. I haven't caught you live in forever. Yay. I've been trying to keep up with Squirrels on Fire, but it's hard to listen all at one time. Boy, Megan sure has ran her mouth. Yeah. And I kind of wanted to give you guys my impression of it. I've been in at least one of the panel discussions, and I'm hoping to be in the one later tonight. Crime Watch with Kenny. Yay. It's so lovely to see you. I know you're coming from the UK, so it's like 5 hours later there. Um, and yeah, dude, you do such great work. Such great work. I've been racking my brain trying to remember my first introduction to you, which was on a Zav Girl panel, and it was super late at night for you, and I think even late over here. And I was watching it live, and I was really glad that I was staying awake because you said something so brilliant about the Kylie Rodney case, something that I had not heard anyone else say. 155 early yet. Um, and yeah, I hope that she's safe too, Michael McAllister. Did you see um the latest? There are two Sammys, one named Sam and one named Sammy. They could be twins. I'm not sure what the at 4J latest. Are you talking about like the 411 with J? I haven't seen her latest, no. But yeah, let me try to stay focused. I'm just kind of feeling a little scattered because I'm so excited and always dehydrated. I've been drinking a lot of water. That's what I've been doing while I haven't been making my YouTube videos is I've been staying hydrated, I've been exercising, I've been eating right, I've been working. So you guys, this is the truth. I've worked for like I don't even know 10 or 15 days straight. I haven't had a day off. And I'm not complaining because it's by choice. And the weekends I do my lifeguarding thing and then during the week I work my regular day job and it's just a little time consuming. So, and I've been getting my exercise, which is a major time commitment. So, I miss doing my YouTube, but at the same time, you know, I there's only so much of me to put into whatever it is I'm focusing on. And anything that I focus on, I hope to do a good job. I hope to stay really focused on it. So I don't know about this two Sammy thing, but yeah, if you want to fill me in, please do. Slowly turning into a vampire. Oh, Kenny, you just reminded me of something that I've been meaning to talk about with the Idaho 4 case that I kind of have been avoiding. Maybe I should jump right into that. Um, the more to life than just YouTube. What? I kind of get pissed off for everything that interferes with my YouTube. I do love my channel so much. I love being a content creator. I love that I have this outlet. I love that I have you guys and Annie Rulers here. Um, so let me say what I was reminded of by Crime Watch's last comment that I highlighted, slowly turning into a vampire. So with the Idaho 4 case, I can't help but feel like there's some kind of creepy werewolf factor going on there in Moscow. And I doubt I'm the first person to think of that. I don't know that I've heard any other content creators talking about it. So if you guys have, let me know. It's something that I've wanted to talk about, and at the same time, I don't want to talk about it because it's creeps me out so bad. Um, but let me go through a few quotes from oh, I wish I wrote down which one this was from at the 5 hour and 32 minute and 21 second mark. I'm gonna bet you that's probably part two. But anyway, whichever one it was, Megan Cole said, I had Kylie. And she cut herself off. So she does a lot of that. She says a lot of things that she then speaks over, like she's trying to erase it. So she just kind of blurted out at the 5 minute, 5 hour, 32 minute, 21 second mark. I think video live too. Um, I had Kylie. She speaks those words exactly. I had to rewind it a bunch of times. I was just like, no way, she did not say that. Sort of reminded me of when um Sammy said, I have her completely. I'm sure everybody remembers that from the Tony Dodge interview when Sammy stops herself and tries to erase those words when she said, I have her completely. Um, I had Kylie, I have her completely. Yikes. I felt from the start a guy called Kyle Fry is creepy. I reckon it was him who was with the girls and not Showalter. Crime Watch? Dude, I don't know how you can get such accuracy from across the pond, but you seem to like nail things better than most of us here in the States. So, Kyle Fry? Because um there's Kyle Payne, right? Is that who you're thinking? And then there's Chief Fry, um, and then supposedly there's like a Steve Fry, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, so Kyle Fry, huh? Army for Jesus did the video on the two Sams. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I'll highlight that. Thank you, thank you. Um, Sam Smith and a Sam Blank. She is part of the Fight Club. It's possible that one is Army for Jesus was talking about. Um, yeah, Crime Watch with Kenny actually changed his name for a day or two to Crime Watch with Kenny Rogers. That was cute. Um, so yeah, I don't want to keep jumping back and forth. I do want to talk about both cases. I really think another creator have said that there's a lot of the occult in practice in Idaho, Washington, Adam Undercover. Um, yeah, there's a lot of creepy crap going on. I'd say that there's some of that with the Kylie Rodney case too. Um, so with the Kylie Rodney case, Xana May, man, that woman plays a huge part. I had enough of the singing, LOL. Oh, that's funny with the Kenny Rogers. Yeah, so Xana May's niece, cousin, daughter, Elsa, Ella, I think it's Elsa, um, that says that she saw Kylie fall in a hole. It sounds to me like there's a real thing with the holes. I'm just going to tell you guys kind of what I surmise from the way the whole story's been told so far in those first four lives that Shan's done this past week. It seems to me that Kylie was delivered to that party or to that location, maybe even earlier in the day or in the evening, um, delivered by Mags, and that Sammy beat her up, and that at one point Sammy took her keys, her car keys, and Kylie wanted to leave and people wouldn't let her leave, and that's maybe why they were blocking off the road. And we've all heard those stories about the guy jumping up on the car without his shirt and acting like a baboon or something. Um, and there were, I think, three of those guys that were doing that, blocking the road. So Megan says specifically that what happened on day two. So it sounds to me like Kylie very well, and this is all hearsay, this is all my opinion, and everything I say is my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn something. And all my videos are made specifically for YouTube. We all know it's an entertainment platform. And please hit your creepy like thumbs up button if you don't mind. I got that share subscribe sign somewhere. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, back on track. So I think that Kylie was probably concussed and that she might have been in and out, and it may or may not be her that was seen the next morning at Boca. But you guys, I'm just going to go straight to it. There's a lot of stories about a trailer at Boca that was giving one of the Rangers such disturbance that she quit her job after sending out some emails. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know those emails that I'm talking about. I want to say it was like trailer slip number 9, but the theory, the possibility is that Kylie might have been held there. Um, Megan slips up in her conversations and talks about um, clients that she cleans houses for asking her if she has any um, escort services, and she provided her clients that she cleans houses for with the phone numbers of escorts, which it sounds like Sammy is doing some type of pimping, basically. So it sounds to me like something was going on with Kylie for a couple of days, and that what happened on day two, according to Megan, in her talking in circles and trying to cover what she's revealing. So that's my best guesstimation of what happened. And then when Kylie expired, everybody panicked, and they made some kind of deal where I don't want to say that they paid the family off, but they may have paid the family off. Um, let's see what you guys are saying over here. And yeah, the thing about the occult, that, Kylie was some kind of weird sacrifice that night. Sammy's words were, it was like Lord of the Flies. And I think all of us probably thought the minute we heard about this situation that this doesn't sound right. People don't go missing from, first of all, you don't have graduation parties out in the woods. I mean, unless you're like the Blair Witch Project creator, right? Um, it just, everything about it sounded so fishy, sounded so fishy. But we know that there was a fight. We know that that person that was fighting with Kylie was bleeped out in the AWP footage when Doug said the person's name. And it's been said by Megan that it was Sammy that she had the fight with. Um, Xana May, I will never forget her wet hair, 2:30 a.m. in the back car camping. 2 days or so later, car shows up. So Xana May is clearly the cleanup crew, but I'm thinking Megan is the cleanup crew also. And I'm thinking that Megan was possibly there. If she wasn't there, I think her kids were there, but she swears they weren't there. But she contradicts herself all the time. So you guys, are you familiar with Chucky? Chucky is this wild character in this story. He's older a little bit, like in his early 30s. Charlie Holderman is his whole name. He goes by Chucky, and he had cancer, and I think he's trans. So he's gone missing. He allegedly is the person that Xana May said she was visiting her friend that had cancer when she came to the area and just happened to go kayaking since she was there and thought, oh, hey, I'll go look for this girl. Um, anyway, so Charlie Holderman, Chucky, people are saying that he was in a head on collision and that he's in the hospital, but it sounds very strange. And then to find out that that's the same person that Xaname was visiting, allegedly. Creepier AF. Um, the name of the campground and comments about the book about sacrificing 18 for the great future of the new college kids. Oh, it's so sad. The Prosser Creek. Oh, the sanctuary, right? Is that what you're saying? The name of the campground being the sanctuary? If you listen to Doug Bishop, when the name was blacked out, he says there was fighting and disturbing behavior between Kylie and a girl named blank. It's the disturbing behavior what gets me. Right. Absolutely. And oh, Larissa's here too. Hey, I was behind for a minute. Let's see, where'd we go? Um, Garage comment is unnerving too. Thank you, Crime Watch. Um, yeah. So basically, they were probably fighting over Nate. We've been told that they both had interests in Jagger at one point or another. But Kylie was hanging out with Nate that night, and that would be the Hamburglar. So that would be where a lot of money comes into play to cover everything up. I agree that Lindsay was paid to be quiet. Those people are nuts. I mean, what's so sad, Kylie's mother freaked me out on the most. I would not be able to move on if I lost my son. That's exactly where I was going to go. Like, yeah, if your child, like, especially like when you find out that they've been found and that there's no hope anymore, you would lose your shit, man. I mean, that's something no one should have to go through. But her speedy recovery, got bills to pay, was quite freaking crazy. And people always want to say there's no wrong way to grieve. And some people go into shock, some people go into denial, but anybody with or without kids can probably imagine you would be beside yourself. You would not be able to eat, you would not be able to sleep, you would be crying, just you'd be a puddle of tears. Which reminds me that her mother was out eating sushi when she says that she found out that Kylie was found. And I'm sorry, but when your child's missing, you're not going out eating sushi. I mean, I don't think so. It's possible. But I don't see that happening in real life. And it's so hard when you're being gaslit with all these lies, to try to determine which way is up. Yes, a Kylie live. Yay. I'm getting caught up. Here we go. I also think maybe they were told to get out of Truckee, hence the lodge being for sale. I didn't realize I'm only 20 minutes away from Sammy's school. Ooh, ouch, Larissa. And I am so glad you're doing what you're doing, girl. If anyone hasn't seen Larissa's trying to help chase down a pedo that victimized her when she was younger, and he works at a children's hospital. And I am so sorry that that happened to you, and I'm so glad that you're doing something about it now. Yeah, this guy should not be at any children's hospital or any hospital, anywhere where he's got access to vulnerable individuals. Um, look into Mike. Mike. Good to see you. Selling women and selling drugs at bars and the super rich people who killed off the ones who was in charge or way of getting what they wanted. That man is missing, Dana. Yeah, apparently Chucky is missing. Um, Charlie Holderman. So, he's got dark hair. In the images that I remember seeing of him walking around at the search party, hub, he's wearing a dark t-shirt and probably sunglasses, shorter hair, and he looks really out of place. Um, but that search party thing, I mean, nobody's searching for anybody. Everybody's just standing around. None of that added up. It's as though everyone knew. It's as though everybody there knew. Law enforcement knew. The community knew. Everybody knew this whole thing was a sham. Um, Charlie Holderman, I think he met a sticky end. Dang. Let's see. I previously think Kylie's never arrived there alive. The party was intended as a ruse to say she got drunk and ended up where she did. I agree, Crime Watch. I think that's um, probably everything that happened earlier, and then maybe she became conscious and was trying to get away when they blocked off the road. I don't know. I definitely think that somebody was turning her out. I hate to say that, but it just seems highly probable. Um, Lindsay didn't seem to have an emotional connection. Yeah. Um, Mox Rocks. Hey there. Law enforcement must be involved or it goes above their heads. My evidence is simply that all of these people keep incriminating themselves, at least as accessories after the fact. yet they are all free. You mean the cover up? That's not a cover up? When Sam Brown was saying that he was trying to cover up, that they weren't trying to cover up, they were just trying to cover up, and that word just wouldn't stop coming out of his mouth again and again and again. There was also baseball bats, according to Megan. Did you guys hear that thunder? Oh my God, I love it. I love storms so much, so long as we don't lose power. Um, he might have been taken care of because he was part of the cleanup crew too. Well, and Megan was clearly part of that cleanup crew. Um, but yeah, Xaname, I think, is key. I think she holds a lot of the information. Um, just her kayaking over Kylie, her with the arrow, her going from the other side of Prosser Creek Reservoir to the side that was cordoned off. Um, she was giving herself access, whether the access was there or not. It makes sense. That's why the amount of people grew so large. The more people from further away, too, the more difficult it was to identify anyone. Right. Yep. Let's see. One of the searchers said never ran into uniformed searchers, but the hours were billed. Interesting. Jazz, you are right. Sam Brown also earlier slipped and said wrecking yard too, where it wasn't appropriate. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna highlight that one. Um, that's insane. My little doggy's barking because of the thunder. So, the summit that they had at the lodge twice a year is very interesting time-wise, that the last one had happened the weekend before Kylie allegedly went missing. And what kind of summits were those? I'm curious if they were of a financial nature. I don't know. But they were twice a year, and it sounds like that could well be something that Kylie Rodney referred to in one of her songs, I think it was, where she said that twice a year is when she basically cuts on herself. Um, Deep Thought says, I have three daughters and I would not function correctly until she was located, and I would have lost my mind if these circumstances were reversed. Men's only, members only club. Yeah, Nico. Um, Absolutely, Deep Thoughts. You nailed it. And so did you, Nico. So there's a financial body that just bought a large piece of property. I don't know if we really want to talk about this. It was in Shan's last live, but I'll finish my sentence. This party, I think they call themselves what do they call themselves? They're they're a business out of Delaware, Flannery, and the Air Force Base. Flannery might be the name of the Air Force Base, or maybe that's the business, but they pulled together $800 million, or the finances to purchase $800 million worth of property. So this financial summit um, is interesting, that some of the names involved in this weird thing that Shan was talking about in her last live. So in number 4, towards the end of it today, as I was catching it, um, some of the names from the Kylie Rodney case are in this financial group that purchased this large parcel of land. It's really, really bizarre. There's a men's group that meet there too. Why would anyone allow so many men around your kids? Right. And remember the cute or sad photograph of Kylie Rodney in a yellow kayak by herself in the water, and she looks like she's probably 8 or 10 years old, and it's from the back, but I know that that's her. That photograph was used for a men's magazine. I found that online for a men's magazine, and it is Kylie Rodney verified. And that by itself bothered me. But yeah, I think that there's a lot more to what you're mentioning there, Kenny. I'm gonna highlight you. Mom of three boys, how can a mother just let her only daughter get used, abused, and neglected? So sad for Kylie, was so only loved after death. Well, and I mean, really, when you think about it, some of the true crime community has shown more love and concern for her than the people that knew her, the people of Truckee, some family members, possibly even. I mean, it is really, really sad and sickening. And there's nothing right about the entire story. There's absolutely nothing right. And let me get back to my notes here. Um, let's see. So I think this is in the fourth one. This is in the last live at the 3 hour, 17 minute, and 57 second mark. If you want to write that down, I'll say it again. If maybe Nico could put it in the chat. The 3 hour, 17 minute, 57 second mark is when Megan says, when I saw them get into an accident. And she says that right before she says something about not in this town. These people are not going to get in any trouble, not in this town. So when she's saying that she saw them get into an accident, then those are her exact words. I listened to it a few times to make sure I got it right. When I saw them get in the accident, I think she's talking about the Kylie Rodney case. I know that there's some reference that she makes at other points in time to, is it the Fight Brothers, Fite or Fife, Evan, and you guys know his brother, that they were in a car accident out in the same area, I think, Prosser Lake, and Megan was one of the people that stopped to help. Um, so yeah, creepy, creepy, creepy. Where was the $800 million property located? Nico, I'm a little sketchy with these details. It's in Shan's live number 4, so the most recent one, and it's towards the end. And Flannery is either the name of the Air Force Base or the name of the company out of Delaware. Um, Maybe the name of the company is Intel and the name of the Air Force Base is Flannery. I don't know if anybody wants to Google it. Um, so it's an Air Force base where they're doing a lot of really uh, wild stuff, maybe working with extraterrestrial types of things, like UFO types of things. I'm not even sure. So I'm sure Shan, when she was referencing it, she decided to shut down the Kylie Rodney part of the talk and just go with that, because there was so much there. And Kay Matson says, I don't think she's dead. She just went to the highest bidder. I cringe at your words, but I think that you could be accurate. And Kenny says, I would love that to be true. Isn't that sad? Like it's cringeworthy, but yeah, we would love for her to be alive, of course. It just scares me to think what she's going through if it were true. Wouldn't it be awesome if she were alive? I mean, even Megan says, and this isn't the end of video 4, um, or towards the end of video 4, what if Kylie's not dead? And then she's like, "Oh wait, they found her." But it's almost like she's being sarcastic. I don't know. I mean, it's always hard to read Megan, but she says those words. What if she's not deceased? Um, a lot of good-hearted people have been targeted for trying to find the truth. Absolutely. And, you know, sticking your neck out there is a choice that some people make in good faith to find the truth. And I wouldn't even say that they're necessarily putting themselves in harm's way, because really, if it's true what they are thinking, then everybody is in danger, right? I mean, everybody. So staying quiet isn't going to help. And if it weren't true, why would anybody be making threats? So I I guess what I'm saying is I'm one of those people that thinks it's worth it, that of course you want to maintain your safety, and yet you want to fight for the greater good. I mean, it's a lot, but I think that a lot of us here in the chat probably are on that same page. Crime Watch says I gotta get to sleep. Um, Mom of 3 boys, I don't know if her case is closed yet. That's a really good question. That's a very, very good question. Um, I don't think it is. I don't think the California Highway Patrol has closed the car accident part of it, and that's why there's still so much ambiguity. And so Kenny says, "Hey, I got to go to sleep, Justice. So take care and bye. All in chat. Catch up soon. Thanks for stopping by. It's always a pleasure." And yeah, get your rest. Definitely get your Z's. Intel is the Air Force Base. Thank you. Flannery Associates is something. Dana, you rock. Thank you. I'm sorry that my um, thoughts were half baked when I was taking notes from Shan's thing. I was actually driving and I literally pulled over on the side of the road to write this stuff down. So I can barely understand my own notes. So this is what I wrote. I'll just read you exactly what I wrote. Financial summit twice a year. The people that own the company that just bought 800 million worth of property by a spy Air Force base, Flannery, out of Delaware, Intel. So that's what I wrote. That's what I was trying to decipher. And thanks to Dana, now we know that Flannery is the business out of Delaware, and Intel is the Air Force. Wow. Something is slipping in audio and video, and it could be because of the storm. I don't know. Anybody else? Nico asks. Let's see. Yeah, let me know if there's any problems with that. Finally made it. Would be so awesome if she was found alive, and that puts us on another mystery than who was in the car. Yeah. Well, yeah, it wouldn't be the first time somebody has been a body double. A group called Flannery Associates has invested more than 800 million on almost 54,000 acres of land surrounding Travis Air Force Base since 2018, zoned for agricultural use. Public records show. Dana, you get the gold star of the night. Thank you, thank you. Look at you, all informed and helping us get a grip on this. A trafficked person whose end came. There are a lot of companies that incorporate in Delaware for low tax purposes, but they're not located there. Delaware is so tiny. I know I've been to Delaware. It's like size of a shoebox, and just big enough to have a bunch of post office boxes for all those businesses, right? Flannery Associates is owned by corporate Trust Company. What do you want to bet that there's a Hamburglar involved in that? I mean, the Hamburglars are involved in everything. So, and when I say Hamburglar, I'm talking about the Nate's family that lives up higher on Donner Pass than the Lost Trail Lodge. Her death has to stay accidental or no money. Mom of three boys, the life insurance, I'm pretty sure doubles with it being accidental too. So not just I mean, if it was red rum, I would imagine that they'd still get the life insurance. They'd just get half, maybe. Kay says, I hear her just fine. Well, that's good to know. So, can we switch gears now at this point and talk for a bit about the Idaho 4? Um, there hasn't been a lot going on in that case. And I did see that Subconscious Mouth put up a video right before I started this live. And I was like, oh, I want to watch it. But, I wanted to start my live. So, I'm going to watch that as soon as we wrap up here. If I was more technologically savvy, we could all watch it together because I think it's like a 5-minute video. And I'm sure I could pull it up on my phone and we could watch it together. That'd be kind of funny. You want to try it? I don't know that that's ever been done. And I don't think Subconscious Mouth would mind because I think he would like the publicity. Um, so I want to try it. If you guys don't mind, let's see. Subconscious Mouth. Let's see what he has to say for himself this evening. 1 hour ago, it's called True Crime Moscow, killed for this reason. So I hope that nobody minds me doing this. If it's too difficult to hear, or let's see. I just turned it off, so that was silly. Let me know. Okay. It's Tom Hanks of all people.
Masses, inflations, mutilations. Listen, the succubus, I'm telling you, love was a human sacrifice. Should have gone away. I should have listened to Carol. Listen to your wife. Who listens to their wife? Listen, you got to listen to me. And what the deal is, what we got to do is we got to go down to the religious supply store. We got to get ourselves a couple of gallons of holy water. My cousin Jerry's a priest. He can get us a deal. No, we got to go to the market. We got to get ourselves a couple of those big strings.
Am I watching the right thing? Yeah.
We got to get ourselves some fresh lamb's blood. And then we got to. Hey, do you want them to take your family, kidnap them, tear their livers out, and make some kind of satanic pate? Right, you're chanting. Right.
3 counties in Delaware. That's crazy.
You're chanting. I want to kill everyone. Satan is our pal. Wait. You're chanting.
So if this is the whole thing, let me see. I don't want to just keep showing this Tom Hanks. Yeah, it looks like that's what it is. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Well, that was interesting, I guess. So that's Subconscious Mouth's latest, and I really like his work. That's odd. So it's just a clip from that movie, and I caught that part about satanic pate. I don't know if I'll go back and watch that later or not, but thank you for bearing with me through that. So Delaware's only 3 counties. It looks like the picture was taken through a window in the cars up on Jack's. Great movie from the 80s. I'm glad you like it, John. It's just to bring our awareness of the effery. Right. So yeah, let's put that in context because Subconscious Mouth he's just an epic content creator in my humble opinion. I think he's amazing. So I'm sure there's a message in that is very astute and to the point. Um, oh yeah, we were game. Love is a human sacrifice. What? Um, so yeah, getting back into the Idaho 4 case, you guys. where to there were some talking points that I had. Let me see if I can find them or if I just need to wing it. I'm pretty sure that they're right here, but winging it is always good too. Um, oh my goodness. Yeah. So the talking point about the criminal defendant and how he was so inappropriate with women. So this was on a News Nation, and these News Nation talking heads were talking as though it were factual, and they were completely just fantasizing about what they thought Koberger's anger issues were and how they were emerging, and talking about him trying to get a certain female to go out with him, and that he would be so angry he'd shut his office door, and students were complaining because that's not allowed. And this is all conjecture, but at the same time they're trying to say that this guy is an incel. This is just crazy making. It's the gaslighting. It doesn't make sense. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Um, the whole thing with the anonymous sources and when they're saying that students were complaining, you know, if a student had those complaints, they could go on the record and talk to law enforcement, right? And this wouldn't be information to be leaking to the media. That's for sure. Um, you have to read my first comment before my last, so it makes more sense. LOL. News Nation is hardly newsworthy. Actually, Vince, Andrew's brother, does he not realize the egg on his face that his brother put there? And then the egg on his face that Ashley Banfield put there. I mean, he talks as if he still has credibility, and in my opinion, he doesn't, unfortunately. He once did, in my opinion. So, Dana, I'm going to go back. And the group called Flannery Associates, or the one before that about the white. I'm getting lost in the backing up. The Dago's live. We were discussing the white Elantra in the gas station surveillance, but the car doesn't have tires. You can see the rotors and shocks and a half. It looks like the picture was taken through a window in the cars up on jacks. Hey, more jacks. We got a lot of them, don't we? Cutting in and out again. And Dana says robot, Jazz the robot. I can't hear a sentence. I'm sorry. It's probably the storm, Nico, but are other people having the robot problem too? Man, I get such cotton mouth with all this talking. Good thing I have my ice water. So yeah, it's pouring rain and maybe that's messing up the live, but John says it's not a problem. Um, yeah, I think I'm glitching out. Yay, I've been waiting for either of you, Squirrels on Fire, or Ara, to go live. Oh, Noel, that's so sweet. I believe that Squirrels on Fire is going to be going live late tonight. And Ara, I think, just started up her school year. She's a music teacher for school kids. I'm not sure what age range. I think teenagers. But anyway, they just started school, I think, today. I think today was the first day the students were back. The storm is winning. Yes, robot jacks. I think you meant to say jazz, but autocorrect is getting you. So yeah, Noelle, I love that you caught the live. We're kind of at the tail end of it. So we were talking about Kylie's stuff that Shan has been doing. You guys, she has just been hitting it out of the ballpark, in my opinion. Like I said, I know it's a huge time commitment, but I highly recommend if you're interested in trying to figure out what happened to Kylie and trying to help with that fight, because Shan sent the conversations with Megan. She sent those to the FBI, you guys. Like, she's not messing around. I don't know if she's sending her lives to the FBI too. But if they're taking her conversation seriously, then they would probably be seeking out her lives. So, Michael McAllister says at 3 hours, 17 minutes, 57 seconds, Megan said whenever she saw when they'd gotten into an accident. And it says accident, but I'm thinking that's just a typo. Accident. Yes. Um, if you go out and come back in, it fixes it. Okay, Nico says everyone needs to at least read the transcripts and make up their own mind about MC's word salad. I didn't think I could listen to it. And when Shan said she was going to play the entire 7.5 hours of conversation, I just thought I'm just going to have to fast forward through it because I just can't. To me, it's such a waste of my time. But it turns out I don't think this is a waste of my time or anybody's time. I think that Megan is a very confused individual and that she knows what happened and she wants to tell and she's trying to hide it at the same time. And it's almost laughable. There's times where Shan is talking with her and you can hear her, like how my phone, you could hear a text coming through. Shan could hear that happening with Megan. So then when she's listening to it on rewind and going to write exactly when the text is received and how Megan changes her tune right mid sentence. One sec. An example of what I'm talking about is someone asked her, I think it was in a panel, someone said, "Hey, Megan, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you think Kylie was alone? 1 being that yes, she was alone, and 10 being that she definitely had other people in the car with her when the car went into the water. So what's your feeling on that?" And before the person even finished asking the question, she already answered it and said, three, definitely a 3. Yep, I think a 3. And then her phone goes ding. And then she says, I mean 1. I am not kidding you, you guys. That is what I'm talking about. It's hilarious, but it's hard to laugh about such things at the same time. What that honesty sounds like with buying all the property near the military bases is preparing for military contracts. Civilians can do some things government can't, and government can do things civvies can't. Right. And that's some big money, man. Government contracts. I know my grandfather had government contracts with his farming. Um, he did corn and soybeans for the government. He was retired military and he had 100 acres and he did all government contracts. Well, except cattle. He did hotel beef for his cattle. Let's see. Flannery, aka Corporate Trust Company, is then owned by a company from the Netherlands, mostly foreign investors behind it who bought the land. They've sued local farmers for their land too. Kylie needs justice is so sad. My husband and I have been following her case since day one. I've been following it since the first day that I found out about it, which was probably I want to say around August 9th was when I first found out about it. Um, and interestingly enough, I was out on a camping trip with my family. And so we were just coming back from like 10 days of camping up in Michigan. And, like people just don't go missing out at campgrounds. That's just not the way those things work. I mean, I'm sure it's happened once or twice here and there, sometimes foul play, sometimes intentional, but it's highly, highly suspicious, highly unusual. Um, let's see. Flannery, aka Corporate Trust Company, is then owned by a company from the Netherlands, mostly foreign investors behind it who bought the land. They've sued local farmers for their land too. Okay, I just read that. Did I um highlight that one? And the company might be from the Netherlands, but that could be anybody owning the companies in the Netherlands. I mean, I'm sure it's like Swiss bank accounts, you do those types of things to get crafty and creative with mo money. It's how you do it. Kylie needs justice. Okay, now I'm rereading things. I guess I'm getting tired. I'm like losing track of where I am. I'm sorry. I'm so out of practice. How long has it been since I've done a live? It's been probably at least 10 days, if not more. I'll have to check. Kylie needs justice. No sound problem in Bremerton. Annie, you're in Bremerton? I used to live out there. I used to work for Kitsap Mental Health Services. That's where I started doing that county designated mental health professional stuff. And then I went over to King County and started doing it in downtown Seattle. Um, I'm worried for Megan's safety. Yes, yes, worried for Sammy's safety. Well, that is worse in my opinion if it's foreign interest buying land near military bases. I didn't even think that was legal. Um, like that movie called Taken, and OMG, that movie is effed up too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely. I'm concerned about Megan's claim that Sammy said there was one person had a gun there. For me, that seems like Sammy is the only one to see the gun. So why and how did she see it? Well, I'm thinking that that was just like Sammy's attempt of like throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what would stick. That, then she could conjure up the possibility that maybe somebody took Kylie at gunpoint or something like that. I don't know. MC inserted herself. Exactly, Nico. And why? Why did she insert herself and why does she continuously insert herself still to this day? She is all over the place. So that's what makes me think that maybe she was there, that she has a vested interest in manipulating the whole storyline. Um, at first I thought it was her kids, but after listening to all four of Shan's lives, I'm thinking maybe Megan was there. She certainly went there later that night to clean up, according to her, I think. Oh, to FBI, that's awesome. Um, I really believe wondering if Kylie's still alive and who's in Kylie's CRV is in her CRV was 2 years old. Megan clears Sammy. She clears escort people, Vanessa, etc. Megan might be worried about people she sent on to the escort service. Yeah, that whole thing with Vanessa and the family of four that got kidnapped and unalived. Um, and those are Vanessa's family members. Um, I mean, that whole thing is just so crazy, you guys. Like trying to make sense of that, trying to make heads and tails. I know Lakeside Casey, Living Lake Time, he did a really good job of trying to make sense of it. And I thought I watched most of his videos about it, but I couldn't make heads and tails of it, honestly. Um, the Singh family, Vanessa Singh and the Singhs that were, what was it, a man and his wife and two little kids, where there was an uncle involved. I don't know. Um, Annie Ruler Summer in Washington is like picture perfect, is it not? It's like postcard perfect. It's so pretty. I used to go kayaking there a lot. And um, and yeah, my father-in-law worked at the Bangor Trident submarine um, base there. And I don't know if people know this, but the Hood Canal, most people know about the Puget Sound. The Hood Canal is on the other side of Kitsap, the Kitsap Peninsula, where Bremerton is. And the Hood Canal has some extremely deep water, which is why they had the Bangor submarine base there for the Trident submarines. And I don't think there's very many Trident submarine bases in the world. I think there's like three. I could be incorrect. I haven't Googled it lately, but so let's talk about wrapping up. We're just at an hour, and I appreciate you guys so much being here. The Singh family was a mom, dad, infant, and uncle. Thank you, Nico. They all have good lawyers, is what they have. Yeah. So I just had a thought with the Idaho 4, and then I read that, and then I forgot what it was. Hold on. It was very important. It was. Um, Oh, Larissa's back. There's supposedly evidence she was at the Truckee River where the remains of the unknown person was found. There's supposedly evidence she was at the Truckee River where the remains of the unknown person. Ugh, uh, 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 crazy. What was it I was going to say about the Idaho 4 before wrapping up? Oh, I know what it was. When you Google it and you look at the Wikipedia, and it says that this Idaho 4 bloodbath massacre happened between 4 o'clock and 4:25. It says that in the Wikipedia. And I've never seen anything like that where it tries to specify what time a crime was committed at. To me, that seems so contrived. That seems like a dead giveaway that that's bogus crap. That's what I wanted to say. And I was thinking about it today, and I was thinking of looking up that Wikipedia, Idaho, the Moscow college kids, because it just blew my mind when I saw that. And then I thought, well, what happens if you look up Kylie Rodney with Wikipedia? Let's see what you guys are saying. Sheriff Sam Brown, man, will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. Mark Twain. Yes, Mark Twain was a very brilliant author, wasn't he? Boxing gloves were found. Wow. I left a comment earlier today on a channel and asked if anyone has compared the picture with Xana May and Ronnie to Nick, the tow truck driver. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Nick is such a topic of discussion with the lives that Shan's been doing. And I've always felt like Nick was solid, but I'm wondering now if I was mistaken about that. Because he certainly did a good job of getting AWP to go to Boca first, didn't he? And anybody can edit Wikipedia. Well, Dana, that's what everyone says, and I've never tried it. That's what I was going to try to do today. I was going to try to take that 4 to 4:30 or 4 to 4:25 a.m. out of there because that's absurd. Anyone can edit on Wikipedia? I never knew that. That's alarming. Supposedly, I don't think I've ever tried it. So I would imagine you have to log in so they can come hunt you down if they need to. Um, hey, Justice, seeing you live from Eastern Washington. Hey, Kathleen. So Eastern Washington, like Spokane or Pullman? Goodness gracious. And Annie Rulers on Oyster Bay. Yeah, that's some my old stomping ground. So I lived in Olympia, I lived in Paulsbo, I lived in Hansville, and then also on the other side of that pond over Seattle and Kirkland and then Marysville up north of Everett. Everett is where that submarine company with the Titan was. Both my sons were born in Everett. So, yeah, that whole thing, what a nightmare. And yeah, that whole thing with the Titans being there in the Puget Sound, like, why wouldn't they use that older Titan vessel just in the Puget Sound where it's not going to have that kind of pressure? I mean, after you've taken it a couple of times down to the Titanic, you know it's compromised. Did you ever get around to looking at Bubbly Waters videos and shorts because she found the Idaho Bike Club? I love Bubbly Waters, and yes, she has her own channel now. And I have seen a lot of her stuff, but I don't know about the Idaho Bike Club. Is that like a biker kind of thing or cycling? I would think biker. Um, and Nico has edited Wiki before. And Dana says, Fight Club. Singh family was red rummed. Right. And we know that Singh is a very common last name. But it seems that Shan believes that the Singh family that was red rummed is related to Vanessa and Celicia Singh um, from the Kylie Rodney case. So that would be just mind blowing if that is connected. I mean, absolutely mind blowing. Xana was the closer for the crimes. Ugh. Someone corrected it within minutes. Somebody corrected what within minutes? What you edited? Wikipedia makes it impossible to get a fair trial, right? Well, that's the thing. It's like it even after a trial, like why would you put specifically the time frame that this happened in? But there's no trial yet. So you absolutely can't say what time it happened in unless you were the actual one that did the unaliving and you're typing it into Wikipedia. I mean, right? Seriously. I mean, that's not my thought that the guilty party put it in there, but my thought is that somebody put it in there that wants that to be the narrative because I don't believe that that's the narrative. I don't believe that's the real timeline. I believe the timeline that they had before that, that it happened more like 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So, you can't go changing the timeline like that as far as I'm concerned. And then it's so contrived with the DoorDash delivery. Nothing happened until after that DoorDash delivery. The DoorDash delivery would be easy to pin down the precise second that it was delivered, but yet it's just given as around 4 o'clock, about 4 o'clock. Like, seriously, in the affidavit, it's not specific, but basically trying to say that everything happened after that. And even if it did happen, even if there was a DoorDash delivery, that still doesn't mean that nothing happened before then. I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole case, to me, the whole Idaho 4 case is ridiculous, just like the whole Kylie Rodney case is ridiculous. It's just a bunch of lies, just a pack of lies. And yeah, law enforcement definitely in on the lies. in my humble opinion. Yakima, not far from the murders. I've been to Yakima. I had a friend from there and went to her wedding there. I thought Nick was solid until I started hearing some of Shan's lives here lately. That's what I just said, Sandra. The exact same thing. Are you writing my words or are we just like jinxing each other? Um, yeah, I just don't know. I mean, it's always good to keep an open mind, but also to trust your ability to read people. But really good liars are really good liars. So even if you're really good at reading people, it's hard to read a really good liar. That's what makes them really good or bad, depending on how you define good and bad. Let's see. MPD only asked for video from 3 to 5. They don't want us to see who was there earlier. Well, and remember when they were talking about expanding their horizon for like 24 hours before, 24 hours after, and then 48 hours before, 48 hours after? That was so weird because, again, it seems backwards. Like normally you'd be getting more specific about your time frame. But of course you want to know what else was going on prior, leading up to it, and possibly afterwards too. Um, UCI is not big enough to hide, Sammy. Oh, it's not? I thought that was a pretty gargantuan school. I don't think I looked up the population on that. I usually do like to look up populations. But Irvine, I know I've been to Irvine again. I have family from there, and that's a pretty big city. Um, And let's see, have you seen Sound of Freedom? I've not seen Sound of Freedom. It sounds like a very painful movie to watch. And I feel like I'm pretty well educated about that kind of thing, so I don't know that I'd want to torture myself with it. I mean, I know that sounds kind of weak or lame, but yeah, so Sound of Freedom is about trafficking, and you don't need to convince me. I know this crap goes on, unfortunately. And I think it's great that they put the movie out there. I think it's great that it's been getting a pretty warm reception from the public, which is maybe surprising to me. The kids going to the U of I have their own fight club. I know. This whole fight club thing, Brad Pitt, he needs to like make some public apologies for that. Seriously. If Brad Pitt wasn't in that movie, I don't think there'd be so much hype around it. The Gabby Petito case, there was the whole Fight Club thing with the book, and then obviously with Kylie Rodney and now the University of Idaho too. I know I've seen some of that. In the early days, Celicia was in pictures on Facebook with Vanessa and family. Something was on there that made me truly believe they were sisters. Interesting. Yeah, I know I looked at a bunch of those pictures and I felt the same way. Paper songs, I felt the same way. When DoorDash delivers, they take a picture and that picture has a timestamp. Of course. Yeah, that would be an easy timestamp. So why that timestamp is not in the affidavit again makes me very suspicious. I think it's malarkey. I think it's garbage. It might not be a very popular opinion, but I think that that whole affidavit is uh, fabrication, honestly. We should be interested in the whole timeline for the whole day and night for all the victims and the dog, Nico. Seriously, like we need to know what was going on with Murphy because Murphy ties in with Kaylee and with the whole household. Um, Oh, I know a new theory. Let's put a new theory out there. Let's put some pizzazz into this live because I know I've been a little loopy. this might be a really loopy theory, but I seriously just thought of this today, you guys, and I'm in all seriousness. What if there were two intended targets? What if those intended targets were Xana and Maddie, and they were intended targets to communicate to their parents who'd been in trouble with the law for possession of illegal substances? The message was for the parents to not rat out their suppliers. And they want to keep the parents alive because the parents are still um, profitable to them. So, what if their kids were the targets? And then obviously Ethan was with Xana, and obviously Kaylee was with Madison. But the other part of that equation is, why were there two people left untouched? Were they not home? My only way to respond to my own question is that they were part of it. They were let off the hook. I am so suspicious of the two surviving witnesses. Um, but I really think that it's possible that those two were targeted and that it turned into what it turned into. And yeah, they were tracking Madison and Kaylee. To me, that seems so obvious. They were being tracked and trailed from the bar to the food truck. Um, let's see, where are we at? There is now no trace of Celicia on any of Vanessa's or her family's profiles. Nothing. No, just slow typing around Travis Air Force Base, trafficking related to the Air Force Base, paper songs. That's some interesting information to have to know. Sorry, you guys, I'm just going to catch up real quick. I'm popping in and out. I have a daughter in labor. Congratulations, Blonde Gypsy. That's exciting news right there. Nothing better than that. How exciting. I hope it goes well. That is rough. Um, Tell her to get the epidural. She hasn't yet. Oh, so hard getting a baby out. Um, I'm late catching replay. I'm so frustrated. Then I deleted an entire file for thousands of screenshots to prove what I saw. Deleted when I got very upset about possible scamming and channels fighting. Oh, okay, I'm not really understanding that whole thing, but yeah, the channels fighting is annoying. I agree completely. A true crime show that I watch. What about the dog that's been referenced in Shan's live? Sandra, are you talking about the dog that was buried out there at the campground? Because I brought that up in her live the other night, and it's my understanding that sometimes criminals will bury an animal on top of a person to throw off the scent and to make people think that that's what was there, and that thinking that they won't dig any deeper. Is that what you're talking about? Xana and Maddie are the only ones that were supposed to be there that night. I think so too. Yes, the two survivors are very suspicious. Good theory, but I think they would have killed with a gun. The killings were too messy for that, in my opinion. See, I would only disagree because unless they had a silencer, that remember that area where the house is it's like a bowl, and sound is going to echo big time. So, as we know, some of the screams might have been recorded, but a gun would just be too loud. But also, if it is illegal substance related, I think that knives are kind of typically used in situations like that, to my understanding. Last 24 hours, law enforcement looks at, according to a true crime show I watched. Even K coming to town for D is so suspicious to me. Right. And Kylie coming to town for Dylan to be her plus one for the sorority party. That to me is sort of like Mags delivering Kylie to Sammy. Um, Absolutely. Government official Podesta arrived in Truckee 2 days before Kylie went missing. Well, that's creepy AF. Grandchild 14, Blonde Gypsy. Man, you are rich in grandchildren. That is rockin'. That is absolutely rockin'. Nothing is better than a fresh baby. Oh, so sweet. Dan, that wasn't spoke about enough. Oh, the Podesta thing. Paper song, yikes, FBI can recover. Yep. And when I say nothing better than a fresh baby, you guys don't take that the wrong way. I just mean that babies are so sweet when they're so young. And as they get bigger, like I like the ages of like 18 months to 3 years. That's probably my favorite age when they're just like tiny little people. They barely know how to walk and talk, except they do both of them a lot and they're hilarious. That's always been my favorite age. But then when you have your own children, it's like every age is your favorite age, really. Um, Great to see you too, Sherry, and thank you guys so much for being here. I am going to wrap it up. We're hitting an hour and 20 minutes. I'm just so happy to be on live with you guys, and I do want to apologize for being loop-de-loop, but got to get back into the groove of things. And yeah, John says using a silencer, of course. Okay, yeah. So I don't know, like if if that would really be silent in a setting like that. Sacramento to Reno is trafficking highway. Dan, I believe it. I mean, I definitely 100% believe it. I've driven that road many times from San Francisco out to Truckee, and I never thought of it back then in the 90s, but yeah. I know both cities are pretty seedy, unfortunately. When all the Jeff stuff started happening, I was so upset, thinking we don't know who we can trust. I was going to stop following anything anymore. I paid money. I paid Jeff $5 too, rat bastard. I mean, I didn't really. I sort of saw it as I was kissing my money goodbye because I thought it was probably bogus to begin with. But yeah, I thought his channel was interesting at first, but not so much with all that stupid stuff with his little props of the files and, just playing the games and all the stuff about Sammy being 24 and what is the Jeff stuff. That's that you back tube, Jeff. You guys know I don't like to talk badly about any other content creators, but him, I don't mind. He's a POS, as far as I'm concerned. I want my $5 back. Of course, I was willing to kick in $5 if it was going to possibly help the Kylie case, but that was just bogus crap. The guy's just a crook. And it's people like him that make YouTube look so sleazy, in my opinion. You can't trust the you back tube Jeff, and I say it's hard to trust anybody, especially on the internet. I mean, seriously. Dana, I tracked his plane, the dog you mentioned about 5 minutes ago. Could that be the same dog that was buried? Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're talking about. Let's see. I have 54 total greats and grand blessings. Holy smokes, Diane Waddle, if I'm saying your name right. That's a lot of grandbabies and great grandbabies. Congratulations. That's amazing. The dog in Kylie Rodney case was buried near her last known location. Right. Jeff is a YouTuber that took donations for a private investigator. I think he was his own PI. I don't know. That man seems to be a creep. My 10-month-old had open heart surgery today. Oh, you're kidding me. I'm so sorry. I hope they're doing all right. Wow. Dang. That is wild. Um, I just got a notification that Plunder just put out a new video about that terrible fake uh kidnapping that we all got hoodwinked on. Let's see, where are we at here? Two dogs in the Idaho case. Two dogs in the Idaho case? I only know about the one. I only know about Murphy, I think. Oh, Buddy and Murphy. Yeah. Well, Buddy, I think happened like 3 months before, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think it was maybe a couple of miles down the road, but it's a rural area, so it's basically right down the road. And yeah, it is interesting. Buddy being murdered is a disgusting crime in and of itself, and the Moscow PD, or if it's not their jurisdiction, then the county sheriff, needs to be looking into that animal cruelty case. Like, that's ridiculous that that isn't solved. Again, with Ring doorbell cams and stuff like that, you would think it wouldn't be that hard to solve. Thanks for reminding me, Nico, about Buddy. So I don't know what Annie Ruler is tagging DIA. Am I out of it? Yes. Back in the groove. Good morning, groove. Scary, good outcome. Yeah, we hope good outcome with the open heart surgery. Oof. Larissa says Jeff got everyone's money at first. What a sleaze ball. And some of those like threatening emails that he sent to Squirrel Girl and just accusing her of trying to make a fool of him. It's like, dude, you did it all by your big old self. Come on. You can't be blaming that on nobody but you. She did great. Oh, yay, Diane. That's exciting. The little baby did great. 7-hour surgery. Oh my goodness. That is just nuts. Have a wonderful night. Get your $5 back, Chaz. Yeah, I would, but paper says paid 50. I believed in him. I am on a pension looking after a disability child. Well, paper, I'd say you should definitely get your $50 back. Haven't seen him. Most videos gone. Do you know anything about the Gilgo Beach Killer? I don't, Larissa. I haven't been following that at all. But I do want to mention that I love what Kevin Neese has done with, hanging Jeff out to dry, because I think Jeff really deserves it. Um, Good to see you, Larissa says to Diane. Baskets and baskets of good wishes to you and your daughter, Diane. Truly blessed. Yeah, Larissa, we totally love seeing you come in here. Thank you, dear, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I am going to sign off this time. I keep saying that, and now we're getting close to an hour and a half. But I always want to get caught up before I say goodbye. So I'm so close. Let's see. Bless your family. May baby heal quickly. Paper songs. Diane says, thank you. A new tablet, too large, premature sensitivity. So far, so good. She's only 14 pounds. Oh my goodness. At 10 months, only 14 pounds. Oh, tiny baby. Oh, has she been diagnosed failure to thrive? I hope that she does well now with post surgery. That is so tiny, 14 pounds at almost a year. Um, So baby is okay, Diane, you confused me when you say yes, he sure did. And you said she's only 14 pounds. So the baby girl, and then he sure did. You're probably talking about you back. Yeah. All right, you guys, peace out. And everybody who is interested in what I was talking about with the Squirrels on Fire lives, I would say jump into her live tonight if you can. It's number 5, and hopefully she is going to do it. Um, I know sometimes she gets busy with other stuff too. So I know she intends to do it. She said late tonight, and she's on East Coast time. It's 10:18 here right now. So for Shan, I would think late probably means like 11 or 12, but I'm not sure. Um, anyway, if you're waiting for her to come on live, you can always get caught up with her other, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And like I said, I think it's really valuable and worth the investment of your time. I would not guide you there if I didn't believe in that 100%. So, um, yes, see you over on Chan's live if she don't go on real late. Well, I'm gonna try to stay up all night. Because I keep missing them. Because yeah, I usually sleep at night, and she's a night owl. My heart was in the right place when I gave the 50, so I asked God just to help me accept, at least tried to help. Kylie was worth more than my 50. I know that girl is priceless, as all lives are so valuable, and it's just so devastating what happened to her. I think another common denominator with the Kylie case and the Idaho 4 case might be jealousy. Kylie seems like she was definitely taken out due to jealousy. There could be some rivalry with the Idaho 4. It seems that that could distinctly be an element of the motive there. So you guys take really good care of yourselves. Make sure you get your rest. Make sure you get your exercise. Make sure you eat your vegetables and high protein and staying hydrated and fresh air and sunshine. And just be good to yourself. Be good to those around you. Thank you so much for being here. Peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. See you soon. Take care and see you at Shan's Squirrels on Fire.